Hey, what's up guys? It's Pete here with mixbetternow.com, and today I want to show you the CLA SSL Drum Trick. But before I do, please do me a favor. Please hit subscribe, please hit like, and please click on the link below and sign up for the email list. Grab your free swag bag where we have free multi-track sessions, free mix templates, free drum samples, all kinds of good stuff, so please take advantage of it. All right, I have a session pulled open here that I'm in the middle of mixing. It's not done. It's kind of a rough mix right now, just roughed in some levels. I am going to play some of it for you so you can hear what we got going on. Here we go.
The past and the future might collide. I just wanna be with you. I wanna be with you tonight. It's a long way back and a long way home to you, and I want you to know that I'm coming through.
All right. So as you can hear, everything's kind of sounding good so far. It's not done. We're roughing some stuff in still, but I want to focus on the drums. Now, the drums that we have going on, there's no samples in yet. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use samples. The drums sound pretty good. We have a kick in, a kick out. Those are going to a kick bus. We have a snare top and bottom, which are also going to a snare bus. And then we have two toms. We have a rack tom and a floor tom going to a tom's bus, and then overhead left and right, and a room left and right microphone, which go to what I call an overhead room bus, and those are all going to my drum bus, and we're also doing some parallel compression here. So I'm going to solo up the drums and let you guys hear what they sound like on their own. And then I will show you what I did with the SSLs that I got from the man himself, Chris Lord-Alge. Let's go from here. All right, so I want to focus on the kick and the snare here. This is applicable. We could do these to any drum tracks, but I just want to zone in on the kick and the snare because that's what I saw Chris do. I was watching some of the Mix with the Masters videos, and Chris has an SSL desk that he mixes on when he mixes out of the box, and then when he mixes in the box, he will commonly use the SSL plugin. He uses the Waves SSL, and he'll basically emulate what he does on his console in Pro Tools. So let's check out the kicks here. I'm going to pull open the channel strips so I can show you all the settings and talk about the EQ frequencies that we're focusing on. So here's the kick in and the kick out. I'm going to solo these both, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass the SSL so you can hear what they sound like in and out. Here we go. All right, so as you can hear, there's a pretty big difference we got going on in a good way. So let's dive in. EQ before compression on your SSLs. Now it doesn't matter which plugin you have. I'm using the UAD SSL channel strip. If you guys have the Waves or the SSL brand channel strip, it doesn't matter. The idea here is we are using an SSL. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to EQ before we compress. And the first thing that Chris always does is he will do what he calls topping out 8K, an 8K shelf. If you watch him mix, he's very, very, very liberal with diming out the red knob here, which is our high frequencies. So what we're doing is we're basically maxing out an 8K shelf. And then the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to look for something around 500 hertz, and we're going to cut that. Now, 500 hertz is that boxy frequency that is, it's that nasally thing, which I tend to remove that in just about everything, whether it's vocals, drums. It is often a very unpleasant frequency, something between 300 hertz, 400 hertz, 500 hertz, can go all the way up to even like 1K. It just depends on the instrument that you're EQing. But nonetheless, on the drums here, we're taking out something around 500. Now, those are like the two main things that he does, is he completely dimes out or tops out the 8K shelf as much as he can do it. Then he will remove a whole lot of 500. And then I've seen him boost anywhere from 800 hertz to something like 4.5 or 5K to really focus in on what he calls a knock, or something that I like to refer as emphasizing the click or the attack of the kick drum, which is typically the kick in mic, because that is going to capture the click or the attack of the kick drum, and the kick out mic is going to get that thump and that woof and that really deep end, the low end from your kick drum sound. So if we look at these two, on the kick in, we are boosting, about 5K, cutting 500, and again, we're topping out the 8K. Then we're going to some compression, 3-to-1 ratio, 150 millisecond release, and I'm using the gate. And the reason I'm using the gate is we got some snare bleed going on. I'll play that for you. You can hear that bleed. And to me, that gate is just cleaning it up a little bit. One thing I love about the SSLs, and I'm sure same thing with Chris, is that it's your one-stop shop, right? You got everything that you need in the channel strip. You've got your EQ, you got your filters, you have your compressor and your gates. I mean, it's literally everything that you need. And just forgot to mention that we're doing just a little bit of filtering here, filtering out about 20 hertz, 25 hertz, just to get rid of that low-end rumble. And that is the kick in. Now the kick out, we are doing almost the same stuff. Okay, we're topping out the 8K shelf. We're topping out 5K here because we can be a little bit more liberal with the highs, because the kick out mic is always inherently capturing lower frequencies. So we want to get a little bit of attack going on in the kick out mic. We're cutting 500 hertz, about 6-7 dB. And then I'm cutting some 100, some 90, something like that, just to get out some more of the lows. And it sounds like this in and out. Okay, and I am filtering about 25 hertz, actually probably a little bit more. I would say something closer to 50, just getting rid of that subby low-end stuff that we're not going to need. I am compressing here about 3 dB, 3-to-1 ratio, and 125 millisecond release. And again, we're gating just to get rid of that mic bleed. Let's check out the snares. I'm going to pull open all the snares here. Now I'm also using another instance of the SSL on the snare bus. And the reason that I'm using another instance of the SSL is because when we're using something that has a finite amount of EQ bands, or there's a fixed number of things that we can do per channel strip, I'm adding another one so I can affect both things. And what I'm doing is I'm actually using some more EQ, because I want to affect some different frequencies that I wasn't able to take care of with just the 4 bands that I was given per channel strip on the snare top and the snare bottom. So let me show you what we got going on. I'm going to play both. I'm going to bypass it all in and out so you can hear it. All right. So as you can hear, again, we're doing quite a bit of heavy lifting. We're getting a pretty big tonal difference in a good way. Let's start here on the first one. This is the snare top. On the snare top, again, we're using our 8K shelf, and we're boosting that pretty heavily. We're doing about 9-10 dB a boost on 8K. Going downwards, we are cutting around 700 hertz, about 6 dB. That's probably taking care of some of our nasally stuff. As narrow of a bandwidth as possible. Pulling out some 500, about 3 dB, again, using a pretty narrow, or as narrow as the SSL will let us go, bandwidth. And then we're also removing some of the 450 here, about, I would say that's about 9 dB. And yeah, we're using the bell here. So we have the bell engaged and we're not using a shelf. I'm high passing 120 hertz. We are compressing about 3 to 4 dB and 3-to-1 ratio, 125 millisecond release, and we're using the gate. So let's solo up the top here, and I will bypass it in and out, and you could hear before and after. All right. So yeah, again, we're getting rid of that, that muddy stuff. We're really brightening up the snare. We're giving it lots of attack. We're using the gate to minimize our mic bleed. Let's bring in the bottom. So on the bottom, what we're doing is we are boosting some 8K again on the shelf. We're doing about 3 dB, boosting 3 dB of 3K. We are removing about 800 hertz, about 3 dB of 800, and we're cutting about 5 dB of 450, 120 hertz on the high pass filter, 2.5 to 1 ratio, 125 millisecond release, and we're using the gate. So it sounds like this. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to pop the snare top in and bypass everything in and out just so you could hear that one more time. Let's bring the kicks in so you can hear the kicks and the snares. Okay, I'm going to pull open the kick-in channel strip just so you guys can get a good look at it. And please feel free to take some screenshots here or to write down the frequencies that I'm using. I always view looking at other amazing mix engineers and being inspired by them and kind of borrowing stuff that they do because, right, they've learned from people. It's kind of like being a musician and listening to your favorite bands. And, when you go to write songs or you go to play your instrument, there's some of your favorite band, in what you do just because you can't help but be influenced by them. So please feel free to copy the settings and, take screenshots, write down the frequency bands, all that kind of good stuff. And here we go again. Now I'm going to pull in the rest of the kit, and then I'm going to bypass everything in and out one last time so you could hear what everything's doing pretty much all together. It's out. It's in. Let me go ahead and loop this just so we could let it roll. Very, very cool. All right, so that is the CLA SSL Drum Trick. Hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Pete from mixbetternow.com. If you guys haven't already, please do me a favor. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like. Please sign up for the email list and grab your swag bag full of all kinds of free stuff. As always, I appreciate your time very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys next time. Hope you have a great day.